And we are back, guys. Another Monday money filled morning for us. Or should we call it Metaverse Mondays? Oh, I don't know. Everybody's talking about the metaverse this week, guys. Even some big YouTube channels have fully converted to the metaverse. All I got to tell them is welcome. We've been here. But looking at the charts today, guys, we're going to start with the total crypto market cap for our chart talk analysis. Just going to look at BTC as well as XRP. And we're also, of course, going to look at a pumping right now, Decentraland up 11.5% at time of recording, guys. So yeah, it is Metaverse Monday, but the reason why I'm going to show you the total crypto market cap is because, as you can see by this top band here, guys, we have more room to grow, and our stopping point is $3.3 trillion, guys. But as always, I have some news for you as well. This article is quite interesting, guys. Now, I'm not going to talk about Shiba Inu because there is another token that appeared in this very same leak that completely went overlooked. That's what we're going to focus on in that one, guys. And we got some, of course, spinning the globe a bit, some news from around the world. Blockchain Association of Singapore and AntChain collaborate to promote blockchain adoption. We have CBDC news, guys. Ex-central bank head is seeing a drive for less US dollar usage globally. Now, that is a narrative that we know will play out as we make this transition. Now, the two stories I want to focus on, though, in this video, guys, is going to be G20 countries have an opportunity and responsibility towards crypto and DeFi policies, as well as an article that came out a few days ago centered around XRP and Coinbase, guys. We're going to talk about this story because I just want to pose a few questions. Why would something like this come out if we weren't closing in on the climax, on the final scene, the last act of this play, guys? So that's what I got for you in the video. If you're looking forward to it, make sure you stick around to the end, guys. But let's get started with this total cryptocurrency market cap, guys. As you can see here, the top band is allowing us to reach at least $3.5 trillion. Okay. When will we break that? Well, judging by the monthly chart, guys, as we enter November, it looks green right now. So the month of November is going to be very important to let us know whether or not we're going to see a $3 trillion crypto market. Right now, we sit at 2.65 at time of recording, and the market itself is up 1.1%. Now, going backwards a little bit, we'll check out the weekly, guys. And for that, we're going to go to the RSI chart because this pattern looks very, very bullish, guys. You can see this was our September dip, and we bounced off that moving average very nicely, and we are continuing to cascade. Now, there is a bit of an arch that is coming, that is forming a little bit, but I am comfortable because I see these contractions. And then you can see here, this red line and this bottom red line, we are sitting so comfortably right in that channel. Okay, so what I can surmise based off of this information is that we're going to continue this stair step. Okay, now it may, of course, there's no guarantee straight upwards movement, but what we will see, like I said, is that stair step play out, and that should eventually take us to a 2.9, maybe $3 trillion market cap by the end of November, guys. So what you want to do is just imagine some possible scenarios of how money could come into the space in the next 30 days. We already know the metaverse is going to devastate the planet. Everybody's bringing in their money into the metaverse. People are searching for projects now, trying to get involved with land sales, so forth and so on, guys. But we already know what the aspects are. We've been here. So the total crypto market cap is looking good, guys. You can see down here on the price chart for the weekly, we are sustaining a very positive uptrend, guys. And then even on the weekly, this is what I also feel very comfortable with. we haven't made any serious contact with that top band, and we aren't anywhere near the moving average for the crypto market cap. So in my opinion, we have more from a mathematical perspective, logarithmic perspective, if you will. We have more of a probability of continuing to the upside. Okay. So total crypto market cap is ready to go, guys, especially looking at the monthly. So now let's tap into our friend Decentraland and see where we are now. So yesterday, if you watched my technical analysis video, I did say that we may see a little pullback. Well, we got that little pullback, and then it kept going again. It kept going again. So now at time of recording, we are sitting somewhere at about $3.18. Now, why is this happening? Well, it's obvious, guys. The metaverse is here to stay. People know about it now, and it's not going anywhere, guys. Now, something else that I see forming as well, we'll zoom in here. Now, you see how this moving average is starting to rise a little bit, right? Well, that is going to create a new bottom. It's going to create a new price floor for Decentraland, guys. So as long as this momentum continues, let's just say, because we wicked all the way up to $5. So me just reading charts and seeing how what that effect has on corresponding prices in the days after that wick, I can tell you this rally won't stop until $5. It always, assets always look to close that wick, because see what the wick is, guys, and here's some trading info for you. That is the equivalent of people trading. Okay. And when it wicks up like that, and of course you can double check this, and if you know more about it in the comments, of course, explain this a little bit easier for the people. But according to my understanding, those wicks represent trading activity. Okay. There were a lot of long positions. That means that wick represents the people that want to see Decentraland at $5. People who are actively, let's say, have futures contracts or trading with the expectation of getting out of it at that price. Okay. So their long positions are aiming at $5. So that's going to create a target, if you will, for money that is coming into the market. Well, coming into Decentraland specifically, guys. So I definitely see this continuing. Decentraland will be the leader of the metaverse market. It has now been chosen. Okay. And it's so funny how, the rest of the crypto space is responding to this, guys, because again, nobody is talking about Sensorium. Of course not. They're not talking about Sensorium. Everyone always goes to the most popular item when something becomes new. Okay. I feel like we're going to see this Decentraland going to take over the month of November. However, the better Decentraland performs, the better the metaverse itself performs. Okay. That is why I proposed that theory yesterday, saying that Decentraland may have just shifted market dynamics a bit, especially when it comes to the metaverse, guys. But let's take a look at BTC, excuse me, and then we'll talk about XRP in a little bit. But reset this chart here, guys. Looking at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin is settling. This is the weekly chart. We're coming into the week above 60,000, above 61, which is very good. Now, looking at the daily, guys, we are still playing right around that 20-day moving average. We're very snug to the line, but as you can see, we are starting to make that squeeze. Now, because it's so close to the moving average, it's still mathematically kind of unclear whether this will kick off today or sometime later in the week. However, with it being Q4 and the sentiment and everything else centered around the crypto space right now, Bitcoin it's going to continue this upwards momentum. Okay. It's really going to continue this upwards momentum. Now, what I saw on the 4-hourly yesterday did exactly play out, guys. Let's see. October 30th to the 31st. So yeah, we made contact. That was the highest that we got towards the top, came through it. And now we are progressing up towards, now see, this was the last bad wick that we had. Then around right before midnight, we had that decent push, which pushed us above the moving average, which is where we want to be. So it looks like, according to the 4-hourly, we're looking to push up to 63, maybe 64. So the week for Bitcoin to me is going to look like just climbing up the stairs. Okay. We're going to go from 61 to 63. Probably going to slow down a little bit, then go from 63 to 65, then slow down a little bit. Once we start breaking 65, okay, that's when the hysteria is going to kick up again. People are going to be asking, will we break it this time? It's a psychological resistance, all this other stuff. Guys, there's some information in these 4-year cycles on Bitcoin, which I do plan on adding to the new playlist that you may notice, Digital Hustle University, guys. That's the new platform here. I should have led with that, but there was more pressing news. It'll be a whole video in itself. I'll tell you about it. But simply, guys, these 4-year cycles essentially indicate that based off of the halving, the mathematical price of Bitcoin kind of has to be at a certain level before the end of the year. So that's why I continue to be positive when it comes to Bitcoin's price, unless I see a major trend or a pattern forming that's going to push us to the downside. And that's why I check these charts weekly instead of daily, guys, because that's how you get the best picture. Okay. And you can see ever since we've started it, guys, the weeklies, we've been going up. And then in September, we knew we were prepared for that come down. We saw it beginning to roll in, guys. So another thing I'm going to add to the university tab is education on the Bollinger Band. So that way, when we do these technical analysis, you'll have a deeper understanding, and then we can piece our understandings together. And plus, for the new people that come to the space, guys. But technicals are pretty quiet for the most part. Again, Decentraland is leading the market right now, and as well as ACH is too doing well. Polkadot, they're getting closer to that auction, so they're doing pretty well. SHIB, people are still buying Shiba. Now, basic attention token. This was interesting, guys, and this is real quick before we get to the news, but basic attention token also pumped upon that metaverse news. And that made me ask the question, why? Why? Brave basic attention token? But then I thought about it. Web3 browsers, Brave browser hosts a lot of these metaverse projects, metaverse platforms. Like people access them through the Brave browser. Okay. So that just showed me that Brave is an important asset to have because it's a gateway. It is a Web3 gateway project, essentially. Okay. Brave is the Google for the next generation. So it would only make sense that as more applications come online and more people are required to use the browser, basic attention tokens value increases. So with now that we have NFTs, DeFi, and now a metaverse option that people can use to interact with Web3 protocols, basic attention token is the first one that you're going to come across that's being actively used. Makes a lot of sense. So keep an eye on basic attention token, guys. Chainlink also doing well. Crypto.com doing well. Yeah. Market is looking pretty solid right now, guys. Nothing too alarming. But let's get to the news, guys. Website leak indicates Tesla is about to accept SHIB as payments. Now, I'm not concerned about the Shiba Inu part. Not even concerned about the rest of this article. What I want to show you is this holy screenshot right here, guys. Okay. Now, I am going to zoom this in on, when I get ready to edit things, but I want you to see that in this code, it also states Bitcoin. Now, the leak was supposed to highlight Shiba Inu, but it states that Bitcoin is right there. Now, word of caution. I've done what they did. Essentially, the person that produced this leak, they were surfing Tesla's website they hit the inspect page button. We've all probably hit that button by accident. But if you do hit it, you know that you can edit and change things. Okay. In the source part, in the inspect part, it won't affect the actual page, but you can go and edit those things, take a screenshot and place whatever you want. Okay. However, what's got me so interested in the fact is the fact that Bitcoin is on here. Okay. Remember, he didn't want to accept Bitcoin as payment. That wasn't the conversation. But your source code allegedly is saying that Bitcoin can be used as a form of payment. We're hearing him talk about how they may be accepting it again in the future. Again, the energy conversation. All right. Bitcoin mining taken over by the United States. Everybody's coming to Texas for it. Tesla's moving to Texas. I grabbed this article, guys, because it's these small things. Okay. They led with Shiba Inu, obviously the first distraction. But what you needed to see was the Bitcoin in there, because Tesla accepting Bitcoin again, I feel like that's going to be something that they're going to use as that catalyst to get to 100K. We're going to see it by Christmas. He's just going to come out of the blue and sell a Tesla for Bitcoin for Christmas. It's probably going to be some kind of crazy giveaway. Okay. But that is one of those things that, and here's another aspect too, guys. I've been seeing a lot this morning. Now, this article also indicates we need to be aware of something. The metaverse now is on everybody's mind. Okay. So what that means is that they're not thinking about other projects now. Nobody's talking about XRP. Nobody's talking about Cardano. Nobody's talking about Ethereum unless you're already in those projects. Nobody's talking about Stellar Lumens anymore. Nobody's talking about DeFi anymore. They're talking about the metaverse. Okay. Now, with that, the metaverse will sustain some attention. Assets in that sector will continue to rise. But what's going to be happening behind the scenes is retail, the payments, the CBDC channels, stable coins. That's what's being laid. That's the foundational layer that's being laid while everyone is looking at the metaverse. That is why when yesterday I told you we were going to start this week looking at the payment coins, paying attention to XRP, because we're not falling for the distraction. Okay. Now, moving over, guys, spinning the globe a bit, we are going to just read this headline here. Blockchain Association, Singapore and AntChain collaborate to promote blockchain adoption. This is just good for the space in general. But I also wanted you to see this to keep an eye on the Asian specific region, European. They are not stopping with this blockchain development, guys. And I like to read these stories because sometimes I do wonder, is all of this stuff real? It almost feels like a matrix, guys, but nations, corporations, they're all coming into the fold, and this is going to be the next era, guys. Now, quick off subject, but on subject at the same time. If you haven't already, check out a series on Netflix called The $1 Billion Code. I watched it last night in its entirety, and it blew my mind. You'll be surprised as to how many terms that we see every day in this space are in that film. Okay. I don't want to tell you the inner workings of it. I don't want to spoil it. But if you're a crypto enthusiast, if you love the tech, the blockchain technology, distributed ledgers, IoT, that's something you want to look at, guys. But Blockchain Association in Singapore and AntChain come together for blockchain adoption. This is just going to spur innovation, education, and bring in the next generation, guys. Now, the narrative coming from an ex-central bank head sees a drive for less US dollar usage globally, guys. So this is what ultimately CBDCs are going to do. They're going to get rid of the US dollar. By the end of this decade, the US dollar will be contemporary art. You'll see it framed on people's walls, and they'll say, you remember that? That's what we're seeing here, guys. So just, again, another headline just to make you guys think, keep you on your toes. But let's get to the main event, guys. Now, we're talking about the G20, and it's interesting that I found this article. Now, as you know, they've concluded their conference in October. And with that, And you can tell by my G20 report, the true whales, crypto is the key. Make sure you go check that out. But their number one thing is remittance, reducing the cost, making it more efficient, safer, and cheaper, right? Now, this report here basically just outlines that. Now, I tried to get this report together, guys, based on the annotations and studies that I made. But when I went to go and process the video, export it, so forth and so on, it would not come. It would not work. Every other video I've done has worked this week, but that one didn't. So I'm glad that we have this article, guys. But it simply states that independent think tank Observer Research Foundation opened in its latest post that G20 countries have both an opportunity and responsibility to coordinate policies around crypto assets and DeFi, so much so that it is conducive to a sustainable, balanced, and inclusive global economic structure, guys. Now, if you've watched that video, you know that the G20 makes up 85% of the global economy, the nations in the G20. Okay. Now, it also goes on to state that they signed a joint declaration in Buenos Aires. This was in 2018. This states that we will regulate crypto assets for anti-money laundering, counterfeiting, and the financing of terrorism, so forth and so on. Now, that was set in 2018. And we've been seeing ever since then, AML, KYC, all of that stuff being addressed, right? Well, going forward, guys, what they look to accomplish is the cross-border payments, making them faster, cheaper, and more transparent and inclusive. It is noteworthy that the Bank of International Settlements Innovation Hub has spearheaded multiple CBDC bridge as a wholesale central bank digital currency ecosystem. They were initiated to support multi-currency cross-border payments by distributed ledger technology, guys. So the reason why you see Bitcoin appearing in places that it's appearing, it's for a reason. Okay. Now, a very notable date we want to take note of here, guys, is February of 2022. Now, that's the second confirmation that I've seen of this date for February 2022. Okay. We got Super Bowl, and then we have a very important piece of regulation that's set to come out, guys. Now, for a while, adoption has been skyrocketing globally. Many other G20 countries are also amidst developing regulatory frameworks for digital assets. India, for example, might bring in law as early as February 2022. Meanwhile, South Korea is also shaking up its existing policies to bring in taxation and licensing policies for virtual assets. That takes us back to this situation here, guys. Blockchain association, adoption, and development. It is a relationship between the public and private sector. Okay. Now, so why am I shifting all the focus to XRP? Well, one, headlines like this: could XRP soon be relisted on Coinbase? Now, as we know, there was a glitch in September where XRP appeared as a tradable asset on Coinbase's Pro exchange. That is strictly for the traders, guys. So that's usually where coins go before they reach the regular mobile application. And with that, people automatically assume that XRP would be coming soon. Okay. Justifiable, right? But then it got better. Okay. XRP is doing insanely well in this lawsuit. I find it so funny how that XRP hired former SEC employees to represent them against the SEC. Hey, okay. But the hot button topic that came out of last week was what Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, had to say. Okay, this is what he tweeted out on Twitter last week. He stated that the Ripple case seems to be going better than expected. Meanwhile, the SEC is realizing that attacking crypto is politically unpopular. He states that the irony is that the people they are supposedly protecting are the ones attacking them. Okay, now that, of course, his comments on the situation attracted a lot of attention. Now, what I'm seeing playing out, guys, is, of course, this is a narrative. It's a means to an end in a certain way. But when it's the timing, I'll say it like that. It's the timing of which Mr. Armstrong came into this, guys. Okay. Then prior to that, there was the glitch. All right. Now, we have been waiting a year for this to be resolved. I personally believe that it's going to be Thanksgiving. And why do I believe that? Well, there was an article that I read from a legal expert a few months back, basically stating that the legal process itself would last until November 20th through the 24th. And I'll put the card up here so that way you can go and watch that video and get those details. But that's basically where I'm gathering this from. Okay. Now, there was a recent development in this case that was looking to push that deadline. But however, I think Ripple responded in such a way that that call was then pulled back. So the timeline still sits between the end of November and early December. Okay. So that brings me to two conclusions. We'll see this done by Thanksgiving, and it'll lead into a Black Friday event. Okay. Because keep in mind, too, guys, this is the holiday season. The hottest thing in the holidays are retail payments. How are we going to get stuff paid for? And with everybody already being preconditioned from last year to buy things from home online, what are they going to be using the most? Payment protocols. Okay. And also, who else thought it was funny that the metaverse was the number one thing talked about around Halloween? Okay. That was just something that just hit me in the middle of the night last night. But needless to say, guys, the focus we should be paying attention to is, of course, XRP and the other payment coins. Okay. Now, we know who runs the metaverse: Decentraland, Sensorium, Solana, Engine. Engine is creeping up there in the conversation now. Sandbox, something I haven't mentioned on the channel, but other channels have mentioned it. Sandbox is doing their thing as well. And then don't forget about Digibyte, because here's something else I want to point out to you. Digibyte went metaverse about a month and a half before the rest of the world did. So we know our metaverse cryptos: Mana, Senso, Solana, Digibyte, Engine. Okay. Top three being, of course, Solana, Sensorium, and Decentraland. But with everybody else now having their attention on the metaverse, we're going to be focusing on these payment channels. We're going to be focusing on the outcome of this case, guys. We're also going to be focusing on Ethereum too, because the closer we get to the end of the year, the closer we get to that unlock period for the 2.0, guys. But that's really what I wanted to get across in this video to you this morning, guys. Let's not get distracted. Okay. Let's not get distracted, guys. I got some more content coming for you today. Still working on some educational stuff. The Digital Hustle University is going to be a full-time thing, guys, and it will evolve over time as it develops. So if you enjoy it, of course, let me know. Hit me with some recommendations. What else can we learn? All right. But with all that being said, guys, I think I've babbled enough for this morning. If you found value in it, of course, you know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you want to reach me directly, feel free, drop a comment, send me an email, all that good stuff. But most importantly, as we go into this new week, this new month, this new cycle, have a great one. Have a prosperous one. But more important, on top of all of that, you got to make that money. Got to make that money. And we going to do it together. All right. So thank you for coming back. I'll see y'all in the next video.